And we are live. We are. They can't hear you. I didn't turn your audio up yet, so they can't hear you yet. So stop cursing. Leon, can you hear us? Okay. Let's make it sure. I want to turn you guys' audio up.
1, 2. Czech, Polish, French.
Leon, can you hear us? Okay. Let's make it sure. I want to turn you guys' audio up.
1, 2.
All right, guys. So welcome to the latest episode of the IWAR Network Tubecast Live Edition, number 111. How you guys doing this evening? I know there was feedback because I had the actual video on because there's about a 45-second delay, so I'm trying to minimize that as much as possible. But that feedback should be gone by now, and we're all good. So I'm excited to be here, guys. I don't know about you, but the rest of these guys, you know, you got Scott not wearing pants over here. I don't know what that's about. That's weird.
No.
I didn't realize this was pants optional.
Well, I'm more of a battle skirt man myself, so it's all good. It's all good. You know what? It's a leather. Leather. Come on, guys.
The pleather man.
The pleather man. My parents had a pleather couch circa 1989.
How many of us had? I did not, but how many of you had plastic on your furniture?
I still do.
I had friends who had that, like, growing up, but I never did here.
It was always some sort of flowered pattern, though, right? If you had plastic on your couch, it was always some sort of flower pattern. They used to sell, like, the cases, so, like, the plastic you would just put over the cushions and such, and you would stick on it if you ever were sitting down, or I like to sleep on my couch quite a bit. I'm often in the doghouse, so I spend a lot of time there, so that's good.
You slide off because of the plastic?
Yeah, you get stuck to the plastic, and you would just rip off, and it was weird.
Do you get put in the doghouse if she's like, "How'd you do this week?" $4.89. Couch for you, bud.
Darren, I never had plastic sheets, but my son had plastic sheets up until he's about 9 years old, and he's gonna kill me for saying that. But he doesn't listen to the show anyway, so
that's what you think.
He's gonna be in the chat, and he's gonna be mad.
In the chat.
I can tell that Luke must have peed in bed quite a bit in his younger days.
I mean, did or does? It's incontinence is not a joke, right?
Yeah, there's pills for that now.
There's pills for everything.
There are. So this is our results Tubecast. So we're gonna go over our results here from the fall 2021 cycle.
We did the results.
We did the results.
Oh, we're doing this TT one. Oh, I don't know what's going on.
I was told this would be about TT. I was told this would be about.
God damn it!
No, you're right.
I was told there'd be free food.
We do have one actually. We do have fresh results for the women's lethal lottery.
Well, there you go. The extra fresh results.
Extra fresh.
Scott's like, what the?
I wasn't ready for this.
Yeah, I have a couple of things to talk about anyway. So,
well, why don't you start off with that? Let's start off with that, Matt, before we get into.
Well, a few things. First of all, I wanted to wish. We were going to do the show last night, and it would have been birthday wishes for Tommy Zulu and Jericho. But tonight instead, Scott, happy birthday, bud.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Scott.
The birthday.
My birthday.
How old are you? 28, 29?
He's definitely turning 63.
Oh.
2 more years, buddy.
When did you get a cop? Oh, I wish. 2 more years, that'd be great.
You and Frank Snow.
It's also the Marine Corps birthday.
Is it?
Just
It is.
There you go.
November 10th, 1775.
All right. Luke, when was the last time you shot someone in the face?
That would be never.
Yesterday.
Look, somebody else is on trial for that right now. All right, that's not me. Yeah.
Happy birthday to Ryback.
Oh.
I don't know if it's his birthday. It's actually bad for that dude.
That sounds like a bad sexual position.
I will say this: Ryback.
I got Ryback.
The WWE 2K19 game, when you're in like a waiting window, it'll have a thing for payback. it promotes like, we can put the payback button. But every time I see it, I think it says Ryback. I'm like, why is Ryback in this game?
Is he the worst professional wrestler of all time?
I'm pretty sure he was the voice of a generation.
Like it's him, Elegante, right? He's pretty awful. Eva Marie is probably on there.
Well, do you when you think of bad wrestlers, I think it's like two types. There's the bad wrestler who can't perform, and the bad wrestler who hurts people.
Right.
Like some people are just terrible workers and like they look bad doing their moves.
Steve McMichael, right? Everyone loves Steve McMichael, but he was shitty in the ring.
Right.
But we all loved him because he was Mongo.
I did. F that guy.
Wow.
Didn't he beat the Patriots that one year in the Super Bowl?
Oh, the '86! Oh my God, that was horrible. That was a family party. We had like 40 people at the house, and the first quarter was like 3-0 Patriots. We're like, yeah. By like halftime, I was like, oh, the party was just dead.
Ridiculous. Who was the quarterback of the Patriots in that Super Bowl?
It was Tony Eason to start, but Tony Eason was a super shell-shocked quarterback. So they put Steve Grogan in, who was my favorite quarterback growing up, number 14. He was like that grizzled veteran who always got hurt. Like he'd be great and like, this is the year, and then he'd break his leg and be like, oh, not this year. 46-10. Yes, that was a brutal.
Was that the owner that lost all his money trying to finance that Michael Jackson and Jackson 5 tour?
That was Victor Kayam, I believe. I want to say it was no. It was Sullivan. Yeah.
The Victory Tour? Was it the Victory Tour?
Then awesome. Victor Kayam bought the team, and then it was Rosenthal from St. Louis. He was going to move the team, and then what's his name, Mr. Handjob at the massage parlor.
Well,
Robert Kraft.
Nothing wrong with that.
I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying, hey,
Is he the Kraft cheese guy?
No, everyone thinks that, but he's not.
He's not.
He's like Kraft Construction on the other side. It's the thing. It's like, oh, it's not Kraft. No, it's not Kraft cheese.
It's like Woody Johnson was the owner of the Jets, but I'm not sure if that's Johnson & Johnson or not.
Oh, I don't know that. Oh. I'm not going to Google it either.
You're not going to Google Johnson & Johnson on Pornhub? So.
Don't Google, what does Johnson do? Oh, man.
Hey, Derek, what's going on? Who we got in the chat? We got Derek. I see Darren. I see Leon. What's going on, gentlemen?
Another note, just for players to know as well, we are going to be debuting the IWAR Design Lab. This is going to be a little kind of thing where we kind of basically ask you to give us, like if you're a wrestler's avatar, we'll create it. So either myself.
For free?
For free.
Son of a gun.
Look, okay, first of all, Matt, you're offering free services. All right? I didn't agree to that.
I'm offering your free service. I charge. We can do banners. We can do other, we can work with you. We're not going to do every single wrestler there is. And I
was waiting for Zaccaroni.
I'll tell you this. I might make El Hombre. But or maybe Willow Wick. Maybe I should make Willow Wick. He'd probably be worth making.
I've done a few logos for Backstabber, but he keeps rejecting them.
I have one for Backstabber.
That's got a weird taste in logos.
I want to make a wrestler named Front Stabber. That's what they called me in high school.
I think we should put a bounty out to find out who the identity of the Backstabber manager is.
I think it's Alex. Can
someone do a skip tracer on this, please?
With the design lab also. So we would like, if you're TTing, we would like to create an avatar for you.
Yes.
I think also it doesn't take, like, if you need like a heading, especially if you're in like the NWL for your trash talk, we can design that for you at no cost to yourself. Though we may call it a favor. Might not know when. But we will call it a favor. And then also, when you submit your stuff, tell us what your finisher is and like what that is. So, like, Neo Dragon, for instance, has a Dragonplex, which is just a brain buster.
I thought it was the Oriental Spike.
Is that the Tokyo Tame Pinch?
No.
That's a legit move.
That's no. It was the Love Glove, but essentially we want to help you have this. But we need to know that. It's just nice to know. So if you can tell us what that is, it helps everybody understand what's going on. And also, we're right. TT, like anything, it just helps, because if, like, let's say Neo Dragon hits somebody with something in a pay-per-view or something like that, if I'd say he's for a springboard brainbuster doesn't make much sense, right? So if you tell me what it is, what we have, what we're working with, and then also, we'll see what happens in the future. But if you guys need an avatar or whatever, we can definitely help you out with that. But
Yes.
also let us know, like, don't give us like a vague description. Like if you have like a person in mind they look similar to or something,
Good hair.
that would be helpful as well. Yeah, like just kind of give us some examples. Don't just be like, oh, he's a real big guy. We'll give you somebody that's just
6'8", 210 pounds.
we could. I think you could do that.
Yes. Other
He is
things
Sam Houston or Kendall Windham.
we should mention too. If you have not yet sent in your nominations for the year-end awards, do so soon because I'm going to be putting the awards together for the nominations officially for this next cycle. So that's 2 weeks, not even. The 23rd. So get those nominations to me. And every year this happens where someone's like, my God, I didn't get nominated for nothing. Oh, well, did you nominate? No. Well, there you go. So to help us out, send us stuff. I sent out emails, but you can go to the IWAR report magazine. You'll see a page talking about all the awards. And just send me your top 2 or 3 names. It helps. Also should mention, if you have not yet taken the IWA player survey that I put together, I started a new one because using SurveyMonkey for free means you get 40 answers max, and then they get mad at you and don't record the answers. Thanks, guys. I'm not going to spend $1,000 on a membership, so sorry, SurveyMonkey. So that's that. Imaginemania is coming up, so if you're going to enter Imaginemania, I think you can win like a province in Canada.
Oh.
So, yeah, we do need women in the IWAR, so...
That's true. No, you're not wrong.
Yep. Scott, you ready with the Lethal Lottery results?
Sure.
Okay, cool. All right.
You're going to start from team 1 and go down?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I don't know.
We should mention what this is so people don't know.
Excuse me.
Put your pants back on.
It's too hot. It's going to be in the 80s in California. You can't wear pants. So we started the evening with team number 1, Lavender Fields and Ripley Strode, taking on Aria Gunpowder and Alligator. It was a long, drawn-out match, and not many people got into it. But it was Lavender Fields and Ripley Strode taking the win, 985 to 973.
Hey, it's Frank Snow. What's going on, Frank?
Are you still active?
Sexually? Of course.
Been known to every once in a while.
Are we past the 10-minute mark, or?
I think we're good. I think we're good. I do use I tend to be discreet, so I do use that mini tent for public masturbation. So it's good. That's fun stuff.
Public tents.
They still have those around?
Yeah.
Nice.
I think a lot of them got repurposed for those breastfeeding kiosks that you see in the mall sometimes. But I'm usually in there.
Well, that's not what they're really for.
No.
Now, do you get a love glove?
Well, you have to. You have to.
It's like a love glove for your body.
Yeah.
We go to the second match, which was at this moment it was going to be Jane Red, but at the last minute, coming down to the ring, world champion Betty Red pushed her out of the way and decided to enter the match herself with Rosanna.
Still bald, by the way. Jane is. So from the waist down.
There he is.
They took on the team of Tiamat and Bonnie Banks. It was another long match, but it seems the fans keep getting happier with especially these 4. And Tiamat and Bonnie Banks came out with they actually had the 2 highest scores, and they trounced Red and Rosanna 994 to 983.
Oh yeah, they did. Right.
Then we came up with Veruca Salt and, as I call her, Fluffy O'Shaughnessy.
Yes, Fluffy.
We've
And I
just
was
given up
taking
on
on the team of Sherry Summers and Ms. Truth. And it came down to Salt and O'Shaughnessy taking the win 986 to 985.
Wow.
Very
Big
close
W.
match.
Well, lots of NWL representation so far on the ladies' lethal lottery.
I'm sorry, I only got about half of what you said. Can you repeat, please?
Are we live?
We are live, but mine keeps cutting out.
No, I'm just saying it's good to see so much NWL representation so far.
Yes, very much. Well, the match of the evening came up for Barbed Wire and Candy Kane taking on Gina Colada and Shiloh Wallace. This was probably the best match of the night, except that Kane didn't make it to the ring. Barbed Wire came up behind her and started trying to set her on fire. I think that's what.
She deserved it.
Oh, Barb.
Hello.
But in the end, Gina Colada and Shiloh Wallace won 986 to 983. And that's your end results for round one.
There you go. There you go.
Who goes head to head in round two?
No, just getting to that. Lavender Fields and Ripley Strode will be taking on Veruca Salt and Fluffy O'Shaughnessy. And then Tiamat and Bobby Banks are taking on Gina Colada and Shiloh Wallace.
Gina Colada allowed to compete? Like, has anybody tested her blood? Like, I don't think she's safe to work. I'm just gonna go ahead.
I think her blood has become the cure for alcoholism. So if you take some of her plasma and give it to someone else, it'll cure whatever ails them.
I'm sure it's a pretty powerful antiseptic. I mean, you know?
I think I got a tough job. I got to write a promo for her this month where she turns face. I'm gonna pull that off.
Try to get space.
Gina Colada, fan favorite. Ugh.
I want to welcome Kevin and Justin to the chat as well. I think they're listening in now, so welcome to the show.
I actually I'll cut in here and make a little announcement that Alex will appreciate. It's the holiday season, and if you're out there getting gifts like I am on Amazon, there's a little link to the lower left side there. So use our Amazon affiliate link. If you use that link and do your shopping as normal, Alex's little account there gets a little percentage of the cut. So he also knows everything I'm getting people for Christmas. But it's a good way to like support the show. And you know,
there's just like 10 love gloves on there.
Who got the blender?
Blender? Wasn't me.
That's weird. A little bit gross.
I'm a blender?
It's a different type of blender.
Oh no.
It has three different speeds on it.
Oh. It's the fleshlight blender?
Well, I didn't want to be all graphic about it.
Nothing wrong with that.
We really need to have sponsors. I mean, like, we're just dropping product names all the time. I think there's, flashlight people would definitely pay money.
Gem, Four Loco.
Yeah.
Four Loco. How about we got shilling fidget spinners, right? They gotta be a good market for fidget spinners.
My daughter has a ton of those. That's insane.
Yeah. So anyway, I wanted to mention the affiliate thing because I've been doing my shopping online.
Yeah, someone got a weighted blanket.
That was me.
How to draw the Marvel way.
That's from my friend's
Ruby
kid.
sliders. What's a Ruby slider?
Those go on the bottom of your wooden tables and whatnot, so you can slide over floors.
Nice. You got them on sale too for $9.98.
Friends with hardwood floors and new furniture can get them and then be like, hey, look, I'm not going to ruin my hardwood floor. So, yeah. Anyways, I want to mention that. So, thank you, Scott, for doing that. And everybody should know that Scott is the one that came up with the Lethal Lottery concept, and we've been running with it for other fun. And the winning team of Lethal Lottery Ladies Night is going to be in a triple threat match with Wildfire Betty Red for the World Championship for the women's title. There it is.
That's delicious.
Friends to foes.
I think guys are pretty stoked about it as well. So
yeah,
I assume the men's one will be happening again sometime next year.
Yeah, we're gonna do. We gotta get this rolling soon. We're going to do a trios version of it, and the winning team will become the new IWAR 6-man champions. So we gotta get that up and running soon. So it's in the works.
All right, man. I dig that. Guess we'll start off with the NWL. So, gentlemen, what do you have for the NWL this cycle in terms of TT?
Well, I mean, breaking down the NWL bulletin, we had 91 pages of bulletin this time around.
Jeez Louise.
It was almost like reading a novel, but I got through it. And yeah, it's great to see the NWL they're always representing on the IWA report as far as how many matches we're signing. And I can tell you from experience, there should be a category for how many TT pages we cover because there's a goddamn lot of them. But I'm going to start off this time with the industry because they write such great TTs that, no one should ever miss them in a Tubecast. So we're going to start off with the industry. They were drafted by the IWL, and I just think this is going to be a great fit for the IWL. So we have Rod Camino, we've got Waz, and we've got Dave the Decision Wasilowski. And their TT this time is called Hot Tub Hot Takes. It's basically Rod Camino hanging out in a hot tub. This time he had BRL Commissioner Suplex, as well as one of his friends, Riley Reynolds, who I think there's a rumor that Riley Reynolds might show up. It's somewhere in the IWAR in the women's division, or there might be somewhere else in the IWA, but we'll look to see if Riley Reynolds pops up somewhere.
Nice.
But we've got Rod Camino hanging out in a hot tub. The song Smooth Operator by Sade plays him in. He's hanging out with Suplex. He's hanging out with Waz. And they're basically breaking down the IWAR draft. Rod Camino just became recently the Young Lions Tag Team Champion along with Dave the Decision. He was also recently the Northeast Champ. We've also got another TT following the industry's tag team win at Clash of Champions 20. We've got Dave, Rod, and Waz hanging out on the party bus, possibly hanging out with some female friends. I think it's platonic, but he does mention possibly spilling some drinks on the ladies in his TT. And then they also head to a place called Daydreams, which I'm sure is a wholesome family establishment. Yeah, the industry is one of my favorite stables at the moment in the NWL, and I think they're going to go on to do some big things in the IWL. And I think that was just a really great pick on that one. Up next, we've got the Teamster and his son, El Hijo de Teamster, who these guys have just been causing all kinds of havoc at Clash of Champions 20. It turns out the Teamster was behind a pretty aggressive assault on previous NWL commissioner, Mad Dog Dick Jackson. So the Teamster came out and he revealed himself to be behind that attack. And so I think we're building up towards a pretty big showdown to see who, in fact, is going to take control of the NWL. Is it going to be the Teamster or is it going to be Mad Dog Dick Jackson? And so in this TT, we've got the Teamster, we've got El Hijo de Teamster. The Teamster seems rather reluctant to let his son have any time on the microphone. So, I mean, there's a strange dynamic going on there. Perhaps Teamster thinks that he knows better in this situation, so it's better off to let the greenhorn, not quite get on the mic yet. But they're basically building up the Teamster Challenge, which is going to start, I think, this coming cycle in the NWL.
Yes.
And it's basically where anyone in the NWL can team up with El Hijo de Teamster to try and win the tag team titles and then win some free matches moving forward. And I was kind of curious, Matt, like I actually don't know too much history about the Teamster. So do you want to give us a quick rundown of what the Teamster is all about and what he's accomplished in the IWAR?
Sure. The Teamster.
Nothing.
Hey, the Teamster helped make Luther Alexander. So.
He said drunk.
The Teamster was, in a nutshell, comes from my friend's game, the Champions of Galaxy, and there's other card games. And they had a wrestler called the Teamster, who was kind of a darn generic Mo tag wrestler who thought he was awesome, but he's terrible. And I made him in the game, and he was the same idea. He was like big talking, trying to it's like QT Marshall, but a babyface.
Talking about the greatest wrestler on the planet.
I know Larry's not here to enjoy, so it's tough.
There's some pretty big boots to fill, QT Marshall.
Yeah.
So the Teamster, professes to be the greatest tag wrestler ever. We ran this contest way back when. It was you teamed up with the Teamster and you won the tag belts. You won free matches. And we're doing it again, but it's now Hio the Teamster, his son. And yes, he does all the talking for him. But Teamster has been the NWL commissioner. He's been the NWL champion. He's been the IWAR commissioner. Some say that Luther Alexander tainted his mind, or just taint. And
A little bit of both.
Now we're both. Now he's back, and he has apparently been manipulating things behind the scenes, and he tried to basically wipe out all the good guys. Not a nice dude.
Right. And so this is going to lead up to our next NWL show, which is Futurescape number 2. That's going down in NWL 176, and we're going to have a Survivor Series style match with Team Teamster versus Team Mad Dog Dick Jackson. And yeah, it's basically good guys versus bad guys, basically for the control of the NWL. So we're going to have to see how that one shakes down. Up next, we've got the Hebrew Hammer, Lance Horowitz. And this might have been my favorite TT in the NWL this time. I mean, it was, the Hebrew Hammer, the number 1 overall. I totally didn't see this coming, but he commits a pretty huge heel turn in this this TT. So it takes place. Lance Horowitz, he's had some success in the NWL, and he was the number 1 overall draft pick in the IWAR network. And then he comes out in Cheyenne, Wyoming, with his dad, of course, Barry Horowitz, who's kind of been playing more of a role in Lance's promos as of late. They're both very well dressed. Barry Horowitz is breaking down Lance's accolades. Then all of a sudden, Lance turns around and absolutely obliterates Dapper Dan D out of nowhere. The fans are enjoying it. They're cutting a good promo, and then he takes out Dapper Dan. He gives them a move called the Menorah Bomb through the announcer's table, and the fans are absolutely in shock about what they're witnessing.
Right.
And I mean, for a guy like Lance, he maybe flew under the radar a little bit in the NWL, but I think this TT kind of brings him a little bit more to the forefront, along with becoming the IWAR's number 1 pick in the draft. He tells the fans to shove it. He puts Dapper Dan D into an ambulance, closes the door, sends him off, and then he drives off in a limousine with IWL on the license plate. So, I mean, between the industry and between the Hebrew Hammer, Lance Horowitz, I think those guys are going to make a pretty good impact in the IWL. Up next, we've got Veruca Salt of Whoop-Ass Inc. Veruca Salt, I mean, as we just heard from Scott's rundown, she's making waves in the Lethal Lottery. She came out on top as the NWL League champ this past cycle. And I think she's really leading the way a little bit as far as the NWL women's division and maybe the IWAR women's division in general as things move along. She was the Rookie Brawl. I'm not sure if it was the inaugural Rookie Brawl champion last time.
Well, I'd say semi-inaugural. It's a return of the event. So,
right.
Yes.
So, I mean, Whoop-Ass Inc. and Veruca Salt, they're always representing well in the NWL. Up next, we've got Johnny Aztec and Sancho Valdez of El Templo Tolteca. Johnny Aztec just finished beating up newcomer Mark Justice in an open challenge match at Clash of Champions 20. Then Johnny Aztec grabs the mic and basically just starts insulting everyone in the NWL. He calls the Grady family a bunch of inbreds. He says that the NWL is about to see an Aztec gold rush. And I think we might want to do another rundown of the Badco Cup as well, because I think that slips my mind at the moment. I can't remember where El Templo Tolteca wound up in that. I think they were facing HNR. But we can...
yeah, I got it right here.
Cool.
So that was... it was first round results. Included the Samoan Death Grip defeating Mark Justice and Hiote Teamster. California Gunslinger and Shotgun Kid defeating Lone Star Redneck and Colonel Doom by 1 point. Mike Dynasty and the newly turned Lance Horowitz. Did Mike Dynasty have something to do with it? Well, they advanced against General Warlock and Traditional.
Wow.
Dave Wazalewski and Rod Camino defeated Ricky Rose and John Lane. The Grady Brothers defeated Beastmaster and Iron Man Rob. Wolf Keenan and Lachlan Kincaid defeated Johnny Aztec and Dark Stranger. And Zydrate and Nivek Largo defeated... Oh, I'm sorry. Aztec and the other guy. Sorry, I had the name wrong. It was Dark Stranger and Jay Silverbud lost to Nivek Largo and Zydrate. And then Ferrari and Sam Hain defeated the Hangman and Harry Hurt. So your second round matchups are Samoan Death Grip against California Gunslinger and Shotgun Kid. Mike Dynasty and Lance Horowitz against The Industry. The Grady Brothers against HNR. Gene Co. against Whoop Ass Incorporated. So, there you go.
All right. As far as TT, up next we've got Fabulous Harry Hurt, who's experienced a lot of success in the NWL so far, but we haven't heard much from him as far as TT. Fabulous Harry Hurt comes in. He's basically giving us a pretty solid backstory, I think, in this one. He was formerly a member of the Fast Track League, where he describes himself basically as, a jobber or an enhancement talent. Everyone wanted a match with Fabulous Harry Hurt back in the day, but he never really had a chance to make it big in the Fast Track League in the IWA. Now he's 48 years old. He's got a wife and kids and a successful career, but he's got some unfinished business. So he's back in the NWL, and I think he's hoping to be a little bit more than enhancement talent this time around. Maybe he can chat with Barry Horowitz and see, the do's and don'ts of spending your life as a wrestling jobber. Up next, we've got Stevie Vertigo. He comes out, kind of a classic old school promo after losing the Young Lions Championship to Rhett Grady at Clash of Champions 20. Stevie is none too happy about losing the title. He basically cuts a promo on the Grady family. This is also in the middle of the debut of a new reality show on the IWAR network called The Mad Dog Bites Back. And it's basically Mad Dog coming back from his injuries he sustained. So the first commercial break, we got Stevie Vertigo. He starts off, not too happy about losing the title, and then he moves on to kind of talking about setting the stage for his inevitable arrival in the BRL. He basically says that he's all about money. He doesn't care what league he ends up in, and then he kind of builds up the his match at Futurescape 2 versus Rhett Grady. It's going to be a Grady Rules match. It's going to happen on the Grady Ranch in Beaver County, Pennsylvania. And the winner of that match is going to take ownership of the Grady Ranch. And that's going to be Stevie's last cycle in NWL 176. So we'll have to see how that shakes down. Up next, we have Stevie Vertigo's stablemates, Samoan Death Grip. They kind of got sent on a journey to rediscover their killer instinct. Stevie Vertigo thought they were underachieving in the NWL, so they go back to their birthplace of Apalima, which is an island near Samoa, and they're basically saying that they're going to come out and take over the NWL and try to turn their fortune around. Up next, we've got the Gun Collection, which is California Gunslinger, Shotgun Kid, and Area Gunpowder. They're basically a family of Western movie actors, and they're really, I think they're making a presence in the NWL so far. Cali Gunslinger's been feuding with Lone Star Redneck. Shotgun Kid's the middle child of the family, and I think he's experiencing some troubles right now. He's hinted at maybe having some issues with alcohol. He's been causing some issues on some of the movie sets they've been participating in. And then they have kind of a feud happening with Colonel Doom of the NWL at the moment. Up next, we've got HNR, which I think stands for Honor Revolt.
Yes.
They've got a tag match happening in Arizona. It's Lachlan Kincaid and Wolf Keenan with Nick Green on commentary. They basically want a shot at all the NWL titles, and I think we're going to have them lined up to get those shots at the next Futurescape. Up next, we've got the Grady family. It starts off with Aunt Betsy's front porch, which, I mean, Jeff, who runs the Grady family, has just been doing a great job overall in the NWL and in the IWAR. And you're talking about the Creation Lab, or the NWL Creation Lab before, and I think part of what sparked that was all of Jeff's great work on some of the logos he's been helping people out with. And if you look in the last NWL bulletin, number 174, you'll see a lot of Jeff's work in there as far as TT headers and other graphics and logos. So he's just been crushing it. Then we go on to Rhett Grady. He's on the Grady Ranch. He's talking about the match against Stevie Vertigo at Futurescape 2. He's talking about all the history that has happened on the Grady Ranch. I think he cites his great-grandfather as a Civil War veteran who first purchased the Grady Ranch back in the 1800s. And then in the end, he reveals that he's purchased a ring from the IWL from Don King. He's got it set up in one of his barns on the ranch, and that's kind of where the match with Stevie Vertigo is going to take place in a couple of cycles. And at the end of that, Rhett and the Gradys are kind of expanding their stable a little bit, and he introduces his sister, Rain Grady, as well, who I think could be another pretty solid addition to the IWAR women's division. We've also got his brother, Ro Grady, who in his TT, he's in a place called the Garage Tavern in West Virginia, drinking moonshine with Dapper Dan D. He's not too happy about losing at Clash of Champions to Mike Dynasty. And he, it sounds like he plans on getting some revenge to some extent in the near future. Up next, we've got Requiem of the SOS faction. He's basically looking to cleanse the NWL of all their bad deeds. Then we've got Whoop Ass Inc. They kind of go back and talk about how they were selected by the BRL in the IWAR draft. Mick Ferrari of Whoop Ass Inc. in particular is fairly highly decorated in the NWL. I think he's definitely in the top 10, possibly top 5 as far as title wins in the NWL. He's the current NWL Hardcore Champion. But I think the thing that Mick Ferrari wants most is a shot at the Young Lions Championship. And in this TT, he's wondering why he doesn't get that shot. And, to a certain extent, it is a little bit unfortunate that such a high-profile talent doesn't get a Young Lions title shot. But part of that might be some of how it works in the background as far as kind of getting lots of people into the mix and getting people different title shots. So I'm not sure if Matt wants to elaborate on that a little bit more. I mean, basically, the way I've been approaching it is if you have the hardcore title, then we kind of get other people in the mix as far as the Young Lions Championship and the Young Lions Tag Team Championship.
Right. Yeah, definitely. What we do is try to spread the love around, and one of the ways we do it is, if you notice, the Young Lions title championship matches are set up between the number 1 contender and the Willowbrook Classic winner. And what we generally do is put 4 high-scoring, active trash talkers in the qualification, like contenders match. And then we take other people that are really strong promos, maybe not as strong scoring, and put them in the Willowbrook Classic. And this way we kind of have a way for people who are not maybe as a great scoring player yet, but gives them a chance to get in the mix. And and then there's a way for players to score. And again, if you have the hardcore title, it is kind of a I wouldn't say it's a roadblock, but it can be kind of a way not to get involved in the other thing. So we might work on that as far as how that goes, because I don't feel like it's right to say, oh, well, just because you are the hardcore champion, you shouldn't get a shot at being in the World Classic or
Right.
in the contenders match. So that's something in the works. But sorry,
we can't really unify the titles because the idea is to keep as many people involved as possible. So
right.
if we've got a couple titles to go after, especially for guys who are TTing, and it kind of spreads the love a little bit.
Right. And one of the things, kind of behind the scenes, what we do is I use the World Classic as sort of a nod to the players who've been giving a lot to the game. So often the way it works is, and this isn't to give anything away per se, spoiler-wise, but the winner is someone who we feel storyline-wise or feud-wise works out as a great opponent to be in the match. And the person who loses the World Classic, the runner-up, if you will, is someone who's usually on the way out. We want to recognize them in a way for a lot of their work, that they did in the game.
Like Fighter X, for example, was in a final, and then
right.
I think US Male was in the last one because he was moving on.
Right, and also too is it's always evolving. We don't sit there and go, oh, this is the way it's always going to be. We change it up every so often. We might expand it. We might have qualification matches, but the idea is the World Classic is sort of a way for players who aren't going to be able to score their way into the final to have a chance because they're good promo writers. So it's kind of like balance the field. They might have that one chance, that one cycle to hit it big and win the title, but we want to keep it mixed up and try to get as many players involved as possible. Now we have, the Young Lions title, we have the hardcore title, we have the Young Lions tag team titles. And I was considering this idea of maybe throwing a women's title in there.
Right.
And just because we never really have a really high number of women wrestlers, just making a mad scramble match. So we just have the women's champions match and all the women are in the match.
Yeah.
And just do it that way. Because there's not that many women. If we end up having 6 women in the league or 10 women, that's a problem we'll be happy to have. But we're going to, kick that around, maybe bring that in next year.
Cool.
So things to think about.
Yeah, I think the great thing about Mick Ferrari too is he's one of those guys he's racking up the titles as far as the NWL title page,
right?
And his TTs are always really strong. So, and I see Justin in the chat here saying whether he gets a shot or not, he's going to keep bringing it up, which I really appreciate that about Mick Ferrari because he demands such high success out of himself as a character, and I think he's just going to use that as fuel to keep achieving what he has in the NWL. And I know he's been crushing it. I think he's a former league champion, he's a former TV champion, he's the current hardcore champion. Nick Ferrari and Sam Hain have a shot at the #1 contendership to the Young Lions Championship. So I think in their time remaining in the NWL, they're just going to keep crushing it, and they're going to go down as one of the greatest factions in NWL history. So.
Yeah, again, we're always looking to have things be fun, and what happens sometimes, just kind of giving you guys a little idea behind the scenes. Some players will email me separately and say, "Hey, I'm not in this particular event. Is there something I did wrong, or I'd like to be in it?" And I always say, just because you're not in this one match in this event now, doesn't mean it's not going to be something to change in the future. Keep in mind, there's a 16 cycle window, and we have to do a couple of things, and that's keep a lot of people involved. And that might mean that, right now your wrestler or one of the wrestlers isn't involved in this match, but they might be in the next one or whatever. And it goes oftentimes to if you'll notice, if your promos cover a lot of ground, because if you silo it and let's say you're going after one person only, that's fine. But if that person's not a good scorer and not someone who promos a lot or whatever, that makes it harder for us to say, okay, so when this past time through, when Mike Dynasty was the Teamster surprise pick, we had a wrestler who was in the game, then he left abruptly, and we had an idea for down the road. We just accelerated the path and said, okay, he's going in now. And that's the thing is we have such a deep bench right now in the NWL that we can go a lot of different directions. If a player, and players leave the game randomly all the time, it happens. in the past year and a half in the BRL, I've lost like 6 of my top players, activity-wise and promo-wise, and we've been just filling the gap with new players. And that's why this draft's so important, because we have so many good players coming in. So, no pressure.
And speaking of Mike Dynasty, in his TT, he goes up to the Grady Ranch. I think the Gradys are getting a lot of heat. I mean, I think they might be between Mick Ferrari and Rhett Grady. They're the two top baby faces in the NWL. So naturally, all the heels want to go after the Gradys at the moment. We've got Mike Dynasty. He just beat up Roe Grady in a strap match at Clash of Champions 20. Rolls up to the Grady gates, and he's looking to hand the leather strap to Roe Grady as a way of kind of getting in his grill.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you know, the other thing too, I guess, the way the NWL works is people are going to be graduating. We're going to have quite a mass exodus coming up pretty soon. We're going to see Gene Co leaving. We're going to see the Syndicate leaving. We just saw Fighter X and US Mail, so there's going to be a bit of a void to fill for some new guys coming in. I think that's going to be pretty cool. I mean, I'd be pretty excited to see a Mike Dynasty versus Rhett Grady feud. Mike Dynasty's been one of the top guys for the last half year or so.
Mm-hmm.
And then just a couple more. We've got Big Money Bonnie Banks, who we heard about earlier in the Women's Lethal Lottery. I think she's going on to the second round. She's basically saying to the gun collection, stay away from Lone Star Redneck, because Big Money Bonnie Banks is Lone Star Redneck's manager. Big Money Bonnie Banks wants an NWL women's title. So, and I mean, the NWL women's division might be coming along. I think there's some seeds being planted there, and there's a big match at Futurescape number 2. Then we have Lone Star Redneck. He might want to team with Templo Tolteca. And it sounds like Lone Star Redneck wants Mad Dog Dick Jackson back. He thinks the NWL has gone to hell under the Teamster, which I think he might have a point there. Then we have Mark Justice. He lost his match at Clash of Champions 20, but he's going to have a chance at the hardcore title coming up. He lost after he got slapped with a blackjack by Sancho Valdez at Clash of Champions 20. And he even says that he'll take on Johnny Aztec and Sancho Valdez in a 2-on-1 match, which I don't know if I would recommend that, because those dudes seem pretty tough. Then we've got Colonel Doom. He recently had a run-in at a job fair with the local Willowick, Ohio police. He was at the job fair, and fans kept asking him for autographs, and he got into an altercation. He ripped a kid's Colonel Doom doll in half. And I think he's been taking on some side work as a police officer, so he got off a little bit easy. He signed their ticket pads with a couple of autographs and got off easy. He's still recovering from an assault by Barry Horowitz at a recent event as well. And then we finish off with the Gene Co faction. They had a bit of a tough night at Clash of Champions 20. They had a great run in the NWL, one of the top factions since they came in earlier in the year. Nivik Largo has been TV champion a bunch of times. They're going to be going on to the BRL. But yeah, and they still have a couple of cycles too to make their mark in the NWL. But basically in this promo, they're trashing the dressing room at the Hagen Arena in Philadelphia after their match at Clash of Champions 20. Shiloh Wallace is trying to calm them down a little bit. And I think they're going to use this as fuel to try to go out with a big bang from the NWL before they graduate to the BRL.
I'm curious.
And I think that pretty much covers it for the NWL TT. And I think I covered it all.
Fantastic.
You dig that?
I dig it. All right, Matt, you have anything to add to that before we move on?
Just I would tell players, if you have an extra match on hand, team up with El Hijo de Teamster and see if you win the tag belts. Again, it has to be the tag team titles. I'm just making it simple, not like 6-man, whatever. But I will say, right now, the Samoan Death Grip are looking like the tag team of the year. So you guys got to step up your game to knock them off. There it is.
Fantastic. All right, next up, IWL. So, Luke, what do you got for us in terms of the IWL TT this cycle?
Some stuff going on. I mean, not as much as the NWL because they have a lot. They have a lot going on.
I'm
good on
overwhelmed.
Yeah, it's a lot. But we'll start off with a man who is pretty much, he's on fire. Alexander J. Styles. He's got Bulk Brogan's number. And he has basically beaten all comers. So Alexander J. Styles and Luther Alexander, Carlos Danger, Ricky Spanish, and good old Johnny Rev make their way down to the ring. Johnny Revolution is a little beat up, but Alexander J. Styles is unstoppable. He talks about Tiamat. Tiamat has kind of, allegedly been attacking Revolution Extreme.
Allegedly, my ass. She leaves a faint smell of curry all over the place. It's ridiculous.
I love curry.
I know you do.
It's good stuff. All right, anyway. So she's taken. She's set her sights on Alexander J. Styles. That'll wait to be seen. But he definitely is threatening her. He's taking a lap on Ali Atari, who can't. He seems to get the better of every time they face. And he's talking about the Chameleon and the Omega Squadron and what he's going to do to them. And then also he talks about he's going to come and get Bulk's IWAR Revolution Championship. Alexander J. Styles is definitely another one of he's just a young guy who since he's joined Revolution Extreme under the tutelage of Luther Alexander, he's just had nothing but success. So see if he follows a similar trajectory as some of Luther Alexander's other proteges, like Phantom Striker. He's buried behind a church.
He is buried behind a church where he belongs.
Senior Lucha is talking about his match with John Satterfield, and if you listen to our results podcast, you know what that result was. But Senior Lucha did have some hope, as he always does, but obviously reality set in for him at the pay-per-view. Also, we have Joe Boring, who is he's going to be a champion forever. So he is the GOAT. He is the Tom Brady of the IWAR. He has held the IWAR championship for the longest time, right?
Oh, ever. 2 years plus, yeah.
Yeah, he's killing it. Also, we have Total Package U.S. Mail, who was drafted.
Not on purpose.
But he seems to think that he deserves a more preferential treatment. So we'll see how that goes. He may be holding out for a better contract. We had the Von Snaps. They're calling out the Regulators. This is going to be a big deal. Have the Regulators and the Von Snaps ever clashed before?
They did briefly about 3-4 years ago, but didn't really get settled.
Right. So this is a big deal between two established trios. So this will be exciting, especially now Revolution Extreme has joined, the Regulators have joined Revolution Extreme.
More like a merger than
those bums.
Yes,
it's a merger. Yeah, it's a partnership. So you have Neil Patrick and Johnny Revolution. So that's a lot. So,
Neil Patrick,
not Neil Patrick. Sorry, Neil Patrick Harris is actually in Revolution Extreme. You did not know that. And the ref, Ryan Patrick. Sorry.
They'll take anybody in that group.
We will. That's how I got the Ghetto Master.
Ghetto. That's a good hero. All right. Then you have Barry taking E. Stevens. He definitely, he's a little disgruntled. He's a little upset. Not only is this society not just, but neither is wasting time on building up a title for it to just get dissolved. So he's unhappy with the way that things have been going for him. but not in the IWL. So, but hopefully, Take a Pencil will start having more success. We'll have to see where that goes. But definitely a good promo from Barry Takeny Stevens. You should definitely read it. It's classic stuff. We have Free Quebec. They are brand new. Brand new. It's also translated from French. So they're here, and they also call it the Von Snaps. What is it? Snaps.
On Schnaps.
Yeah, whatever. It's a different language. But yeah, so they're definitely calling them out. That'll be interesting to see where that goes. Then we have the Fabulous Three Birds, the other goats of the IWL and the IWAR.
Unbeatable.
They are the IWL. Yeah, unbeatable. And that is Jimmy Electric and Prince Tun. We have Raleigh Hatchet and Rosanna. And Rosanna definitely had a good showing in the Fatal Five-Way. I believe that she is doing well. I think she was in a 3-man championship this cycle, I think, or maybe not. Then you have the Mid-Atlantic Reading Crew, with Stagger 3 and Sarah Smile. The Sarah Smile, I believe, is just their manager. Is that correct? Along with Grand Sabrosa.
I'm pretty sure that's affirmative.
Okay. And Raleigh Hatchet.
Raleigh Hatchet.
He may be drunk. We have a beautiful haiku / poem by Backstabber.
Read it out loud for everyone.
Must take heed, must change approach, or else crash and burn. Get things straight. Hatred breeds contempt, and Backstabber hates everyone with contempt. Are people wrestling Backstabber for fun, or are they looking for their demise? Backstabber cuts his forehead with a knife. See the crimson flow that stands for all of blood and life. I have no Hulkamaniacs. I have no little warriors. I save souls or break them. You don't get the gist of it. I am a maniac. It is just the tip of the iceberg. The Backstabber will make up for lost time. You think I'm a fool? Only I've been fooling you all along. I don't need love. I don't need support or adulation from fans. I just need direction from the dark side. The Almighty cannot save you. The gods only pray for you. They give you strength. However, pray for your precious little heroes, because Backstabber is lurking. Dangerous more than ever. Stop thinking. It may have its effects on you. Most wanted posters can't hide what's behind my stare. I rule. Backstabber rules with a Z.
There we go.
There.
The Lanny Poffo of the IWL.
Right. That's correct. Also, we have John Satterfield, the reigning.
No, I wanna take a moment here. I challenged the good old Firebird a couple of Tubecast ago. If he was going to become the world champion, to really bring it on in terms of a TT and really kind of move this forward, and he delivered here. So I'm very excited. I'm very happy that our good friend Firebird has delivered here with this TT. Nice job. Please keep it up.
Yes. So
it's exactly what I wanted.
Yeah. He establishes himself as the champion. He is the top dog in the IWL, and we will see how long he can keep his spot. But it's exciting. New blood being champion in the IWL.
He's a tough title defense right off the bat with Logan Kane. So
he does, and that's going to be exciting to see. So next up, we have Spider Williams. Speaking of Spider Williams, hold on one second.
Spider Williams is going to the dogs.
Yeah, my dog's freaking out. Hold on.
He's a big Spider Williams fan.
It's Backstabber. He's at his house.
Now, guys, in reality, you think someone is trolling us with the Backstabber at this point? Like, it has to be, right? Like,
it's Johnny B.
Good old JB. JB is the Backstabber. He's definitely going to send me an email about this.
Yep. Enraged.
I love it. So Matt, you gonna convince me that BT is actually a good show and it's not corny as hell?
Oh, there's parts of it are, but the thing I talked about this time that we have a mole, as we joke about having a mole in professional wrestling. They made several references to Tony Atlas's foot fetish.
Yeah.
And I think one of the most intense parts of BTE is the BTE championship, which they shoot, defend, and random. This time it was the old paper wadded up into a triangle and flick it through the goalposts.
Yeah, like the old football game.
Yeah. It was Cole Cabana against
Guevara.
Yeah, for a title shot. So, but it was a good show. And
have Colt and CM Punk have any interactions so far?
No,
No,
and
they
someone,
have not.
no, and someone pointed out that while they were recording this segment, this little bit was exactly during the time between Eddie Kingston and CM Punk having the confrontation in the ring.
Really? Okay.
So,
I wonder if Kingston's not going to actually bring it up.
He should.
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
the show is this weekend, so
So we'll see.
I'll be getting it Saturday night.
Well, if
gear.
anyone watched IWA Mid South, like Punk used to kill Kingston on commentary when he used to do commentary for them, and that's like
Really?
where like their heat starts,
Mhm.
quote unquote heat. So like he would always give fucking Kingston shit, just like he gave Kevin Owens shit all the time too. Like, you know, a lot of people are like, Punk is this beloved figure. It's like, no, like he was like in Ring of Honor, he was rough on the guys. When he had his training school that no one graduated from, he was rough on the guys. Although I think Seth Rollins went for one class, but like he was, you know, he was a difficult guy, and he did make a lot of enemies on the way out. So it's good that they're playing that out. You know, they almost, I don't think they got all the way with it, but they almost kind of turned him heel a little bit.
Mhm.
You know, depending on your point of view. So I'm interested to see that match. I don't watch AEW. I watch matches just by themselves. But I did watch that Kingston promo, and the video package for that is fantastic. Well done. Bravo.
All right. So, you know, other than whatever happened, I think
Was
my
it the
dog.
backstabber? Breaking into your house?
I mean, it may have been. It may have been after my dog was inspired to anger and violence after I cut that vicious promo.
Taking the haiku to the next level.
Yeah, the backstabber possessed her. So, but yeah, speaking, so we're talking about Spider Williams. He can go. What was it called? What was the lab? The creation lab? Is that right?
Design Lab.
Design lab. So Spider Williams take our services so he can get a nice header for his TT, because his TT is very good, but it's difficult to see because it doesn't have a header. So, you know, if I wasn't careful,
Or a logo. You could do a logo too.
Yeah, you could do anything you wanted to.
I did one picture for him in the NWL. It really didn't do him justice. He's a good babyface.
I use Spider-Man.
I mean, I know U.S. Mail gave him a lot of grief and his mother and all that. Which, well, I shouldn't say it.
Why you gotta spoil everything? But anyway, so he's talking about getting ready for his 5-way. He says he's ready for the long haul now, and I think that we're all really excited to see him continue to grow. So he was flying all over in that fatal 5-way match, but he's definitely more than that. So it's exciting to see him grow. Next up, we have the Omega Squadron, and they're addressing the Three Birds, giving them congratulations on winning the title there. It's named after them, so
Yes.
that's always good. Chameleon, again, he has beef with Luther Alexander, and he's definitely there to support Logan Kane, because obviously, I don't know if Luther Alexander's going to let Logan Kane get away with that IWL title. So we'll see how much he involves himself in that.
Right.
Also, he talks about Dixon Ticonderoga, and how Dixon Ticonderoga is constantly threatening his wife, Sam Solee. So there's some friction there. If you know anything about the tumultuous relationship of Chameleon and Samantha Solee, you'll know that Dixon probably isn't a welcome addition to their marital problems. So,
Well, Sam thinks so.
ooh, look at him. It never ends with him. All right. So, and then also Alexander J. Styles is not a friend of the Chameleon, and the Chameleon really wants him to know that he's not an Ollie Atari, that kind of guy.
That's fair.
Speaking of Ollie Atari, did Ollie Atari TT this cycle?
He did not.
He's definitely something needs to change with him. He's definitely off his game. So
stop losing matches all the time.
Yeah, maybe send Xanadu back home.
Have you seen his wife? No wonder his back problems.
Yeah. Triple Fs.
Anyway, so
Good.
going to the Patriot and Christian Warrior, obviously they have to address the betrayal of the Amazing Graces and their seduction into the Revolution Extreme. They were trained by Christian Warrior, so it's just, it's really...
That was a heck of a
really
surprise. That was a heck of a surprise.
I highly enjoyed that. So
shocking.
Again, American Patriot talks about three birds, but they're going after the unified tag titles, and they want Rosanna locked in a steel cage above the ring. So I don't know if that's going to happen, but also they talk about the Demolition Crew, trying to see if they might be up for a fight. So that is Omega Squadron. Next up, we have Amazing Graces, who pull off are the newest members of Revolution Extreme. They address why they did it, and basically they just want to get taken seriously. They mention a bit about the success of their stablemate Alexander J. Styles, and really whether you like Revolution Extreme or not, for whatever reason, when people turn to Revolution Extreme, they tend to have some success. So I'm not sure why that is. Maybe
Hatari should do that.
We tried it. It didn't work, remember?
Yeah. It had the opposite effect, I thought. Maybe we'll see. We'll see. Maybe that could happen. You heard it here first, folks.
I will say the insult that CM Punk used on Eddie Kingston. He's a bum.
So bum. All right. Next up, we have the man, Dixon Ticonderoga.
Oh, wait, before that, in between the Graces and Dixon, must be the Invisible Man, because there's nothing there.
Yeah, that's a new draft pick. We don't want to talk about it. All right, anyway, so first is Dixon. He talks about Blaze Monster Chuck Tanaka for losing their match in the Lethal Lottery. He definitely picks up and talks about Chameleon and says some unsavory things about his wife.
Oops.
Yeah. He calls out Frankie Stachino, who has been noticeably absent recently. And he talks about breaking Senior Lucha's bones. I think Senior Lucha's bones just break anytime he moves.
Yeah, at this point, yeah.
Yeah. He should probably retire, but he'll never retire. Because he's just selfish. He's a bad person. And then he talks about the three birds. And he's just hitting on all cylinders. So he does address there was some question if he would leave RX, and he's definitely not. If anything, he's another one, just like Alexander J. Styles. He's got his Grand Prix title since he's joined up with Revolution Extreme. And even though he's still loyal to Barry Stevens, his mentor, we'll have to see. They had a tough time. They haven't had much success as a tag team. They've had success, but not the level of success they've had previously as a tag team here in the IWL. And it may be that, they're separating, their time is separating, but now that Barry isn't preoccupied with carrying an entire league on his back, he might be able to focus on this one. So we'll have to see if maybe if they can get right and have more success. But we'll see what happens. Next up, we have Steel Cutouts. He's definitely a man on the rise after winning the Fatal 5-Way, and he's up next. Going to face Alexander J. Styles.
He likes feet.
He likes feet. Like that. That's not something that I took from the TT, but whatever. But he could be the next Pan Am champion, so we'll see if he's able to defeat both Alexander J. Styles, and we know if you're taking on Alexander J. Styles, you're taking on all of Revolution Extreme. So
It's true.
see how that goes. Next up, late night Logan Kane. He has a promo just letting you know that, hey, John Satterfield, special sit-down interview next cycle. So that will be exciting. Champion and challenger will sit down, and we'll see what happens there. Next up, we have the Demolition Crew, Zenith and Bloom. They were set up to face the Amazing Graces of the MSG Tag Tournament Finals, and they're really looking to make some moves here in the IWL. So it'll be exciting to see. The Omega Squadron and Demolition Crew seem like they may be
On a collision course.
A course of collisions.
Yeah.
Ravishing Rex Chambers calls out Ali Atari. I guess he just wants to pick an easy target. He senses some blood in the water.
I mean, that's how I would pick at this point.
Yeah, he senses some blood in the water. But no, I think that Rex just wants to put him out of his misery. Ali Atari may end up retiring before Senior Lucha. We'll just have to see how it goes. Maybe he'll go back to the BRL. Maybe we'll see. We'll see what happens.
He should go to the CWL. That's where it belongs. That or the Texas Death League.
Texas Death League. If you're truly going to transfer anywhere, Texas Death League. And then we have Big Money in the Dog Pound. So Jax, Rusty, and what's the guy's name? Steambridge, but what's his first name?
Graham
Steambridge. Thank you. And they're just talking about what they would like to do in the IWAR. Talking about who's going to come into the league with the IWAR draft. So it's going to be exciting to see what the Big Money and the Dog Pound are going to do going forward. So, but yeah, the TT overall is always top notch here in the independent wrestling league, but it was a little slow because so much has changed, so much is happening or going to happen. We have the guys coming in from the draft. We had a huge pay-per-view in terms of storylines, ending and beginning. Had people coming and returning and switching sides. So it's definitely going to be crazy leading up to the event of the year, Starrcade, and what's going to happen and what we end up seeing at Starrcade. So stay tuned for that IWL as things begin to heat up.
Yeah, man, Starrcade will be taking place in Las Vegas at the Raider Stadium, whatever that's called, which I have to look up actually pretty soon to see what that's actually called. We did miss one TT. It was hard to see. It was the lunatic Matthew Grababascu, who is he wants a shot at the Grand Prix Championship. But right now, he has to wait because in front of the line is the American Patriot. So there you go.
Kill the American Patriot, though. Would you not then?
Well,
why did they put his TT like right there?
You saw that, right? It's weird. They do that sometimes when they got space.
I don't like when they do that.
Well, at least they didn't do it sideways.
That's true.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. All right, guys, fantastic. Again, if you guys have not read the pay-per-view, please do so because it's fantastic. It's the reason why I don't have any TT this cycle. Because well, what do you want from me? That took me to almost 5 o'clock in the morning. And it's just cutting and pasting, too. It's ridiculous. I don't know why it takes me so long. Hey, Scott with a super chat. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate that. You are a gentleman and a scholar.
I wear no pants.
All right, next up. What's the timestamp on this?
Oh, right.
What is
That's by what is the timestamp?
You gotta get that timestamp. I don't do timestamps. For the simple reason, I'm lazy.
There it is.
There it is. And the reality of the situation is that's why we're going live, so I can do less work. And yes, it may only take me like 10 minutes to do a timestamp and figure that out, but I really don't want to do it. But if any enterprising young men or women wanted to put the timestamps in the comment section, by all means, go right ahead. Talking about you, Larry, perhaps. I know he's listening with no internet.
Well, poor Larry. He's had a tough break.
Well, sometimes when you get your wires clipped, it can go wrong. That surgery is rough.
Oh, poor guy.
He just pees on both ends now. It's ridiculous.
Had to be done.
Looked like it was in a freaking meat grinder. It's ridiculous. Get better, Larry. We'll send our thoughts and prayers with Larry and his junk.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, next up, BRL. So, Matt, what's going down in the BRL?
Oh boy! All right, so I've got a real quick recap here. I want to thank everyone who submitted their promos for the BRL. We appreciate it. I will mention. I'm going to do this in order, but backwards to forward. So
that's the way I wipe, by the way.
Oh man,
which way do you guys wipe? You guys go back to front or front to back?
I just sit on the
Matt
paper.
just uses the bidet. That's it.
I just sit on the roll and like go back and forth. That's how it works.
Isn't that the most horrifying feeling though? Right? You're sitting there, you're taking care of business, right? You're having a good time. Maybe play on your phone. You go down, you go get a handful of toilet paper, and there's none there. Like, what do? You call for the wife. Perhaps you call for a small child to get you some toilet paper. Hopefully, you have TP in the house. On occasion, you might be in.
Let me give you a little frontier advice here when it comes to frontier justice and medicine.
You gonna use a sock?
I was in P-Town with a friend, and I had to go bad. Like, when it hits you, you're shutting like the sweats. Yeah. And I'm waiting. There's a long line of people get in there. I get in there. This woman comes out, and she's like, "Have a good day." And I'm like, well, just the way she said it threw me off. I go in there. I, drop the bomb. I look over, and it's like, no, nothing. Not even a hint of a scrap. So this is when I'm thankful I wore socks. So remember, socks are good for your feet, and in a pinch, I should have left a tip for whoever to clean that bathroom. Like, I'm sorry.
Listen, that's going to be on the new IWAR network merchandise page. Doo-doo socks. Get your fresh doo-doo socks.
Comfortable, form-fitting, and absorbent.
Is that before and after you took a look at the glory hole while you were in that bathroom?
Just as you were talking about that, we went from 3 viewers to 9 viewers. So, I mean, I think we might have a specific niche market that we're appealing to right now.
People are called kinks. The hot conversation about.
Well, one day when we get offline, we can talk about the Muscle Bear community on YouTube, and we can watch some of those videos because they're fantastic. The comment section on those are fire. Like, they're so good. It's hilarious.
Well,
we may have to have Matt do a dramatic reading of some of these comments on these videos. It's ridiculous.
Should I use the Johnny B voice?
No, I wouldn't use the Johnny B voice on that one.
All right. All right. I adjusted my location so I can read more accurately. All right. So, starting in the back, we lead off with Brian Rotten. And I'm not going to go into to kind of expedite this a bit. I'm going to kind of give you guys the ballpark TV guide summary. So, Brian Rotten has been demanding a spot in the Best of the Best tournament. Now, the Best of the Best tournament, for those of you who don't know, is the way we determine who will challenge and then lose to Joe Boring when they challenge him for the IWAR World Championship. And the good news is, in Best of the Best 4 Dream Warriors, Brian Rotten got in. The bad news is he got knocked out in the first round. So he finally made it in. Just I feel both. It's kind of like funny but sad. Like, oh, he finally gets in there.
Would you
It's
call
like-
that rotten luck?
You could, yeah. Next up, we'll go to the White Claw Outlaws, who have been challenged to a 6-man match at Battlecade by Monster Truck Tanaka and Thugs for Hire. And now those guys have been getting paid to attack the White Claw Outlaws for 6 months now, over and over and over again. Just ridiculous. And they agreed, and they were given a chance to pick a mystery partner. They don't say who it'll be, but they hint that it might be Joe Boring, because they consider him on their level. And I'll say this, it probably won't be Joe Boring, I'm sure of that. But they are equivalent in a way to Joe Boring in the tag team room. They've been the IWAR World Tag Champs for almost a year now. They won them last December. And they've been really impressive. And in the BRL, they are currently tied for longest tag reign in BRL history at 4 cycles in a row. If they retain it again, that'll be a 5th cycle. That'll be a new record for the BRL. They just won the World Tag Belts a couple of cycles ago. So they're really killing it. So the question is, who will step up and give the White Claw Outlaws a big run for their money? Well, I'm going to get a drink of water here. Next up, we have...
Who wants to team with Frankie Scott?
Right. Hey, maybe, who knows? We have Quick Kill Incorporated, Assassin Beast Devasto's stable with his buddies. And he's got a bone to pick with Adam Cash. And he wants to see him either in a series or a tag series with Fatty the Butcher. So that's going to get addressed. Next up, we have Holy Family. They talk about Thrash winning the TV championship and just how much of a run Sabretooth has been on overall. Sabretooth, who is now going to challenge Joe Boring for the IWAR World Championship. And he's literally the biggest guy that's faced Joe Boring. So Joe Boring will be challenged by that. But he's also challenging Punk Rock Mike for the Global Championship. So here's the thing. This because of the year, we kind of ran into a kerflunk. So we bumped things back. So the December 14th cycle will be the matches for the IWAR Championships as well as the Battlecade pay-per-view matches. And then the write-up will be on the January 4th cycle report. So you have that to look forward to. But Sabretooth, in the same cycle, will be challenging both Punk Rock Mike and Joe Boring. So if he has a huge cycle, he can come out with both titles. What to do? Because we don't want the IWAR World Champion also having a league championship. But he could lose one and win the other. So who knows? Who knows? Lots of anxiety for him that cycle, I'm sure. Thugs for Hire, they talk about, again, being paid. They love to get paid to beat people up. And if you don't know, Brom O'Baron is 4'11" or 5 foot tall. He's like remember Puck from Alpha Flight? There was some really hot Alpha Flight talk earlier on the NWO locker room. And I geeked out because I was a huge Alpha Flight comic book reader. If you didn't know, it was kind of like the Canadian Avengers, if you will.
Yeah, I think they're the ones who kind of discovered Wolverine after he got out of Weapon X in Alberta, and he kind of joined with Alpha Flight, and they kind of took him on for a short while before he went on to the X-Men.
Right, and it was...
Man, fuck Alpha Flight. I'm more of a Power Pack man myself.
I read Power Pack 2 for a short... I used to be a huge comic nerd.
I'm waiting for the Power Pack movie.
And then there was a Power Pack movie?
I'm waiting for one.
Oh, you're
They
waiting
could do Eternals and all the other nonsense. They can do
there
Power
might be a
Pack.
Power Pack. Would not be surprised if we got that.
I want it. Not a TV
anyways,
show like Cloak and Dagger. No, a movie.
So anyway, I wanted to
That
say
and Rom the Space Knight.
that Rom, I'm a Rom fan. Don't do that.
I know.
Anyways, I wanted to say that Brom is a short dude who doesn't speak, so it's really fun that his promos where he signs. So let's see here. Next up, we had the Carnival Profits and Effie/Fluffy O'Shaughnessy, who is picking her fight with Barbed Wire. Barbed Wire is pretty much the most hated woman in wrestling right now, for many good reasons. And the Carnival Profits, what I'm in the process of working on, just kind of behind the scenes, I want to start matching up some of our tag teams that are kind of cutting promos and being like, hey, we're awesome. I want to start connecting those guys up. So look for the Carnival Profits, who have a cool name. I like that name, to get some action soon. We have Logan Kane, who has an exclusive interview to flashback at Autumn Anarchy during the elimination match. Logan Kane and Adam Cash fought into the stands. Kind of that, Alex, was it Tupelo concession stand brawl?
Tupelo.
Tupelo, thank you.
That's in Mississippi.
Yeah, so it was kind of an ode to that, except during this brawl, Adam Cash and Kane were brawling, and in the process, a woman got a popcorn maker dropped on her foot and crushed it. And I laughed out loud, and I don't know if Larry did this on purpose or not, but I used to tell the story. When I worked at Home Depot, when I first got started there, I was there for like 3 days, and I was getting carriages out in the parking lot with this guy named Dave Devlin. We called him the Crusher, and here's why. He was helping a woman load a floor grinder into her car. And what a floor grinder is, it's this heavy machine that sits on the floor and grinds up old floor tiles to leave just the bare concrete. They're very, very heavy, and they're very edgy. And as he was loading it into her car, the handle he held it by, which wasn't a handle to lift by, snapped. It flipped over and crushed her foot. I don't mean broke her foot. I don't mean like cut her foot. I mean flattened it. And it was 2 weeks before her wedding. So I always pictured her like wheeling herself down the aisle. Here comes the bride. So anyways, I instantly thought of that. So Logan Kane had this poor woman whose name is Pearl Harbor on the show, and she was wearing the full halo neck brace and everything else, and she's all angry at Adam Cash over this injury. So now it's come out that she's going to be at ringside for the Steel Cage I Quit match between Logan Kane and Adam Cash. So that could probably go horribly wrong. Double R, Rob Ratliff, is, of course, excited about his title match against Neverfull Joey Saltambuca for the North American Championship. I will say, notably, there was no promos from the Leather Brigade this cycle, so we were all like, oh, where'd it go? So I don't know if it missed the deadline or life just got busy, but no Leather Brigade promo. And I put all the pressure on saying I wanted an old school Leatherman promo. I was looking for the old badass Leatherman to get out there, be bad to the bone. So let's see if it happens. Where was I? Oh, yeah. So Joey Saltambuca talks about defending the title. He also says that he got called out by Ghostly Shadows, and Joey Saltambuca lets him know that he's not afraid of no ghosts. Yeah, I went there. I said that. Barb Dwyer talks about the mysterious promos that have been aimed at her, one with a crystal ball and now one with tarot cards, and that she's not afraid of any crystal ball or intimidated by some spookiness. And she also says she's going to destroy Gina Colada, even though she couldn't do it last time they met. She's going to ruin her. So that's in the works. We got the Litigators, who have a beef with Seth Adams Lee and Wisp. So that's getting to be a tag match at Battle Cage, so they can settle their differences. We have the Mannequins. The Mannequins and FJF, Flashy Jack Ferdinand, not MJF. Flashy Jack will be challenging Loveburger for the Cruiserweight Championship at Battlecade, and he's taken the mask off. His face is fully healed. He's back to being the handsome a-hole devil. So he's back. We have a new mannequin, number 3. So he for a while was mannequin number 3, but they've actually brought in a realistic mannequin number 3. So that stable's growing by a bit. Let's see here. Suburban Hell Savages talk about they do lots of promos and facing a lot of titles because the Suburban Hell Savages have both a global tag and global 6-man in their house. So they're defending all of those against East West Connection and the Olympians. So lots of heat there. And of course, Sabretooth is going to be a big challenge because he's been on a tear and Punk Rock Mike sees him as the biggest challenge he's had. So it's going to be a fun cycle December 14th. And December 14th also my dad's birthday and one of my nephews. So there you go. There it is. Also, just as a fun precursor, our 11/23 show, when we do the results show, I'm opening that week. So I'll be a little sleepy, but it'll be okay. Too Hot Frankie Scott has come in, and to make his appearance known, he decided to light Logan Kane's set on fire. So a bit of a pyromaniac there with Too Hot Frankie Scott, but I like that. We talked about that. Wait a minute. What is this?
Season's coming up. He needed a new one anyway.
It's okay. I can't read my writing. Summer Nights. Okay, Summer Nights are calling out Ripley Strode, so that's looking to line up. I will say this: the women's title match at Battlecade is going to feature a special guest referee enforcer, which was supposed to be a famous woman wrestler, and instead they got Rich Lather screwed up and got Marjorie Taylor Greene. So that's going to be interesting. And there's going to be a lumberjacks around the ring surrounded by women wrestlers. So I'm sure there's going to be lots of mayhem happening. So Summer Nights will probably be ending up in fisticuffs with Ripley Strode. The Olympians talk about the best of the best, the Bound for Glory series. Their feud with Flash Jack Ferdinand and his mannequins. They got attacked and jumped by the mannequins. It's just going all over the place. So lots of mayhem there. Hawaiian Heartthrob talks about channeling his ancestors to show Mechanico the way his error of his ways and make him punish him once and for all. Wisp, I want to congratulate again Wisp for winning the King of the Ring cross added way. That's very cool. The second one to ever do that after the Black Superstar Bobby Bedlam. Seth Adams Lee talks about winning and taking down the mannequins, and then he says something I found really fun. He claims that the mannequins are actually his brothers in masks.
Oh.
And he says that the mannequins are actually his brother, Wisp's brother. So Wisp is a huge black monster of a heel. The mannequins are white dudes. So I don't know. Could it be true? Could be. Ghostly Shadows we talked about, wanting a piece of Joey Saltimboca. Mechanico, he has asked that the Red Cross Bloodmobile be at ringside for the last blood match between him and Hawaiian Heartthrob. The last blood match is where both men have to bleed, and the first one to pass out from blood loss is a loser. Book Club, they talk about how they're still looking for a third member, and that they're very bitter that there's no book club in the pay-per-view. How could that be? Adam Cash talks about the Logan Kane match and how he is, in fact, the top star in the BRL, and he carries the torch, and he says it's not Punk Rock Mike, it's not Frank Leatherman Snow, it's not Ghostly Shadows, it's not anybody but him. So can he back it up at Battlecade? We'll find out.
No.
No. Gina Colada, we talked about that with a lumberjack match, and I got a crazy promo to write for her because I got to turn her full babyface and make that work. That'll be easy. Monster Truck Tanaka talks about the six-man match against the White Claw Outlaws, and that if he gets the money from taking them out, he's going to buy himself a PS5. And
if he can find one.
Right, if you can find one. And then we close it out with Jax McAllister talking about his what's called the Derry Underground Sewer match. And this is his match against Hate Clown coming from Battlecade. It's going to be a cinematic match, which you guys, if you know the whole delete match and all that. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be interesting. But Derry, New Hampshire, for those that aren't aware, the movie It, which starred the evil clown who was underground, it's based in Derry, New Hampshire. So, anyways, that's the BRL promos. If you've noticed, there's been the BRL roundup. Usually Larry does the Rich Lather column. He's got a lot going on, so I've been stepping in and having Rich Lather's son, Richie, do the promo cover and other interesting stuff. So look for another interesting Richie Lather report. But I'm looking at my notes here. That's my doctor's appointment. Other notes. I think that's everything in the BRL. Thank you everybody for taking part in the BRL promos. We appreciate it. Do you want me to cover a couple of IWAR questions?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, we'll close out. Let me see here. All four people. This is the marathon.
Eventually, we get it up to a couple of hundred views.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, Johnny B listens, so
he does. He does. He's gonna make fun of you again.
He will. Yeah. It's okay. I try to take a nap during the TT portions. I think I talked about the computer last time, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So, all right. So we'll talk about the question is, will the IWA ever bring back the other sports games? So in the past,
You did that one already.
oh, did I?
Yeah.
Okay, I won't do that one then. How about the bulk rate? Did I talk about that?
Yes.
The check bouncing, common mistakes players make.
Yes.
Okay, this is the old one. Let me find. Damn it, all the hell!
That's why we're live.
I thought I pulled the right one up. I'm not tired. You're tired.
Oh.
Um.
Don't talk to me about pulling out. No.
Whoa, hey, whoa, hey now.
Take it easy.
Whoa.
It gets harder when you're older.
Sloppy Joe, sloppy
I
Joe.
thought that you had the opposite problem. You got
No.
older.
Shit's fucking sprays everywhere.
Oh, Vesuvius.
As we
Sounds like
get.
someone's got a block.
Well, I should get a latex bodysuit.
on Amazon.
You get one
Through
on Amazon.
through our affiliate link.
It's just freaking amateur hour over here.
It is. It's awful.
Ugh. This is trying to find. How do you? Bloody hell.
Just type in the search function.
Yeah, well, I'm saying search messenger, and let me do this. Okay.
As you do that, as I'm trying to find my Starcade poster that I made like 6 months ago for this event for our next pay-per-view. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm going through my my hard drive full of IWA related pictures, and I made the mistake of condensing them because I had them everywhere on my computer. So I put them all in one file, and now I can't find anything because it's so much.
Oh no!
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Here we go. Okay. All right. Oh my God! What was that?
What's going on? What's going on?
All right. So,
Good night, everybody.
we also got to figure out what we want Johnny B to look like. We got to have a Johnny B avatar.
I think we have one already. Don't we have one?
No, not that one. I want to use one like.
I thought we were going with Paul Lynn on that one.
Oh.
I think that's the appropriate picture.
Oh no.
Either that, or we could do the dad from Seventh Heaven.
Seventh Heaven, Dad. I don't remember that.
That TV show. Luke was a big fan.
Heaven.
As everyone misses that joke, but it's okay.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
The dad played a pastor on Seventh Heaven, and he is actually
a child predator? Why'd I be a fan of it? That's awesome.
No, was he really?
Yeah.
You didn't know that?
No.
That was the guy in the Star Trek. That's one of the Star Trek movies. He's legitimately in like Star Trek. I think the motion picture. I think.
Would I recognize this actor? Or is he like
You have Google, don't you?
No.
Look, he doesn't have anything. He's all messed up, man.
His computer is legitimately a potato.
It pretty much is.
Yeah.
Let's see here. All right. So.
the toughest part when he Googles, you have to draw the pictures, put them on the data.
Okay, here we go. I got it. All right. So. All right. So we talked about the first time he was introduced to IWA. We talked about that.
Yeah.
We talk about meeting players in real life.
Yes.
All right, hold on. Then.
You can pay attention to what you say when you.
No, he doesn't. This is the problems that we have.
Leon suggests Rip Taylor as the avatar for Johnny B. That's good.
Too much confetti.
All right. Well, I can't find the goddamn thing.
Boo.
I could have sworn we had more to go through. We only had
had-
like 1 or 2 last time.
I don't know. There you
What
go.
are the IWA players sent them besides Trash Talk? We talked about that. Yeah, this is the old one. My Gmail sucks. Like if I look at something once and it goes away, it's like what the hell?
That's why I use AOL.
You don't use Excite Mail?
No.
Although I still say the most important question is the one is Kimberly a real person?
Did we get an answer by that?
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
She is.
She's real.
She's real.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Kim, I always appreciate how nice and wonderful you were.
I'll tell you this much. I was cleaning out my BRL folder on my Gmail, which went back to 2011, and I found an email that was forwarded to me from a player who I won't name, cussing out the IWA, and they're in the game now. And it's just like, why ever let this person in the game? Piece of shit.
Damn it, Alex.
Well, no. My relationship with the IWA is pretty solid right now. Always solid.
You
I
know the best thing that ever happened to me when I was playing was that they told me I had good TT one time in an email.
Did they?
That's
That's
Yeah.
sweet.
That was the height
That's-
of
that's-
my
that's-
IWA career.
That's a question that we can do. We can ask the IWA. Do you guys read all the TT?
Well, I hope not. I feel bad if they do. That's like a
They said they don't really. I mean, a good question would be: is there promos you look forward to?
Well, yeah, that's the second question. Is there any one of these TTs that you go out of your way to take a look at?
backstabber.
Backstabber is one.
It's
gonna
Johnny
read-
B is the backstabber. We should talk.
We're
about
gonna
this.
read backstabber's TT from now on every cycle. That's a tradition.
If he keeps
We're
on
gonna
doing poems, that's fantastic.
We should just doesn't matter. We should just do fireside with backstabber. You should get like a little fire, like a crackling graphic or like a sound, and then I can read it. It'd be great.
It's not a
I think
bad
people
idea.
will dig it. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I can't.
Probably be the most popular.
That's a good
Popular
question. I
book.
wonder if Johnny B actually ever like. I'm just gonna play a couple cycles of IWA just to see how it is.
And the next thing you know, he's flooding.
I'm gonna get that 501 every cycle.
Johnny B, 4th World Championship in a row. I want to thank myself. Well, whatever. We'll get back to it next time.
We're still looking for All-Star Bulletin number 1 if anyone has it. I will pay no money for that, but
Yeah.
you get a
Nice.
a hearty handshake perhaps.
Yeah.
Hearty handshake. Where is this stupid thing? Ridiculous. Anything else before we make our great escape out of here, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
No, I think it's pretty good. I think again,
Make sure you use the Amazon affiliate link. Use the super chat function here. Please give me money.
If you haven't subscribed, subscribe now.
Well, subscribe, of course. Like it.
subscribe.
That always helps the algorithm. I'm always kind of like interested about how people can actually consume this show, because if you look at if you look at the stats on it, like they can't be that many different people watching it. So I'm assuming people listen to this like in pieces, so it gets the view count up, or multiple times in a week. It's very strange. Because we get to a certain level and then it just completely drops off. Boom. That's it. Does anyone remember the show Too Close for Comfort with Monroe? That was a good show. I feel like the good old Johnny B has a soft spot for 80s television shows. That's a good show. It's a good show. I have nothing to add to that. All right, guys. So for Matt, for Scott and Aaron and Luke, I'm Alex G. Have a good night.